You want a portrait? You'll get a portrait. Yeah, I've been asked several times if I would please do another portrait. Absolutely. You asked, I listened.
Steve, please do another portrait.
That's you asking. This is me listening. All right, well, let's get going on this portrait. And first, I just want to give you the particulars. Blocking in this gentleman right here. He was an 18th century historical reenactor, woodworker, I believe, had a woodworking booth showing some historical woodworking techniques and stuff like that. Interesting character. I like the profile. I like the light. And I'm just blocking in and detailing the face before I jump into the watercolor. The way I usually like to do these are tight around the facial features and then looser the further away you get. So you'll see some splashy backgrounds, some sort of loosely treated line and wash clothing, that sort of thing. I love doing portraits that way. Right here, I decided to, so that the features wouldn't get lost, to kind of go ahead and put those in with watercolor pencil. Darken those. And I add washes on top of that. Then I've got those sort of established. But I didn't do a whole lot in the watercolor pencil. And you'll see me later on bring in some colored pencil, standard colored pencil for some of the dark lines. Tried it in the hair, really didn't think it was working great for the hair, but I did use it to strengthen the line down in the clothing. And here I'm using a micron just for the glasses, since those were a nice dark line anyway. Other than that, I think probably you will see the process pretty clearly. I mean, I think it should be self-explanatory. Feel free to ask questions because I want to get into something else. And so we've been talking, I did a little chat recently on Patreon for patrons about learning to love the process and just how absolutely important that is, and not tying the art process to results. I know that seems so counterintuitive because we all want to make a beautiful painting. I mean, that's why we're doing it. But there's so much to learn. And again, it depends on what you paint. Some subjects are harder than others. The subject here today, a portrait, is probably the hardest. But I think really you have to kind of play some mind games. I mean, you've got to keep positive. You got to stay positive. If you're not a professional, in other words, you're not making your living doing art, you've got no reason whatsoever, in my opinion. You've got no reason to put pressure on yourself. This should be a fun process. And that is sort of what I want to talk about today. I've talked about not calling it practice. Practice is essential, okay? Let's just be honest. To become a better artist, you have to practice, but there's no reason you have to think of it like practice. I've always thought of it more like discovery and problem solving. Why not take a gaming mentality? I mean, think about it. Does your practice session feel like this? Does your art and striving to be a better artist feel like this? Just brutal, time and time again, trying and getting knocked off your feet. Why couldn't it instead feel like this? If you've ever played a video game, and I know they can be frustrating for some people, but video games, there's nothing but the process. I mean, you may win or you may get to a certain goal, but it's the process. It is the journey and solving those little problems, unlocking those little ideas, redoing a particular part of the game, doing it over until you get it right. I mean, that's fun. It should be fun. Maybe you're not into video games. Maybe it's a crossword puzzle. It's the same thing. You work at those little clues that unlock the next level. It's solving a problem, but it's fun. It's engaging your mind. This is how enjoying the process of art should work, in my opinion, and it's so crucial. Like playing a game of chess, that's another analogy. Learning that next little strategy that makes your next game a little better. It's accomplishment. The process of art is what's fun, or should be. In my opinion, it's easier to love even than a lot of times the end result. The end result sometimes can be so anticlimactic. The finished painting. I don't mean for that to sound negative. You will have some that you're just going to love, but you'll have an awful lot that you won't, and that's just art. So what you're left with is you really need to enjoy the process. Really need to enjoy unlocking the little clues, finding the little technique that helps you play the game, if I may use the analogy, a little better. That next strategy that helps you get to the next level in your art game. If there was anything that I could pass on to you, my viewers, that I would love to just catch fire and everyone is enjoying the process. Art can be like any other process that you enjoy just doing, whether it's playing golf or swimming or riding a bike or hiking or knitting or sewing. Some of those I know end up with a final product, but a lot of them don't. Enjoy that color. Enjoy the brushes and the way watercolor just moves and is exciting. Enjoy the new combinations of color hues. Enjoy making a drawing that has lines that just sing. Enjoy solving those little problems. One step at a time. Enjoying the process. Really adopt a gaming mentality with your art. Why not? Why not? Well, it's just something I've been thinking about. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the process of this portrait. And again, ask questions. If you have any, I'll be happy to answer them. Speaking of faces, we're going to be teaching the Loomis head over on Patreon. And I'm really excited about that. It's something I wanted to do for a while. So patrons, if you're seeing this, and some of you have already put in your request and that question I asked, we will be doing a series of lessons on the Loomis head. thanks everybody. I so appreciate you watching, and patrons for supporting this channel. I really couldn't do it without you. And check this video out if you'd like.